What's up, everybody?
Hi, howdy ho all.
If you're here to watch Geek Fest live, you can get to that in just a minute because we're going to here to talk to you about Noom.
Oh yeah, our exciting and wonderful sponsor that are bringing you this episode and also helping my best friend become the better person.
I am. I've lost some weight. I've lost, now it's 38 pounds on Noom. I'm very
It's
excited
fantastic.
about.
I'm so
Um,
excited for you, bro.
I sat down for like an hour today just listening to courses, because they give you all those courses and stuff to think about and then like little quizzes and stuff. So I just did that and I was listening and like doing the quizzes. And I am happy. So everybody, I started out 535. I am now 497. And I do feel better. I feel
Woohoo!
like the weight is coming off. Like I don't remember how like when we did the a few weeks ago the charity event, I felt like a blob.
Yes.
I don't so much feel the jobbiness anymore. I feel
Well,
like
that's important, man. Feel like you're starting to get that muscles working again, starting to get the
yeah.
body moving again. That's fantastic, brother.
And it's definitely helping with the diabetes. I think I made this at the right time. But
Yeah, it was
guys,
definitely a good life choice right now.
yeah. But guys, as you know, Noom has different things like you can do these courses I was talking about or quizzes. I log this is from the other day, but I log my water, I log my meal intake, my weight every day, my steps. And this weight chart has been perfect. I don't have a 497 one yet, but I will pull it up later. But guys, it's wonderful. I'm really enjoying this. This has kind of been a very different experience for me on my weight loss journey, and I've tried them all. But Noom has daily lessons, personal coaching sessions, and support groups, tracking systems, and more. Um, they don't tell you what you can or can't eat or anything like that. They don't believe in good or bad foods. Instead, what they do is they give you the knowledge and wisdom you need to make informed choices that fit your lifestyle. So if you are interested, try Noom. We have an affiliate link because we've partnered with them on the Scene Snobs. It's down below. Or it's on the thescenesnobs.com link tree, wherever we have links, and go check them out, take their quiz, and if you join up, helps us keep the lights on, but we also appreciate and want you guys to be healthy as well.
And we're happy that it actually is something that you can stick to. The level of being able to commit to this and be able to see positive results, that's really what you want in life, and that's what we're seeing with Noom.
Absolutely. And it also sponsors us like shows like Geek Fest Live, which is right now.
Ba-ba-da-ba-bam!
Geek Fest Live. Geek Fest Live. We just came up with that all on our own.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Welcome, everybody, to Geek Fest Live. I'm your host, Mick Manhattan, joined as always by the man, Casey Plott. How are you today, sir?
I am marvelous, sir. Thank you. It's such a pleasure to see your smiling face with, just one face, not the extra shingles on the side.
I know.
Looking
It's
good,
all
bro.
cleared up. It's cleared
Yeah.
up. The COVID's gone. I tested negative. The
Sweet.
diabetes is still strong, but
There's only some
I'm
of it.
working on it. So always, I'm working. I'm gonna get down to an actual dad bod.
Oh yeah, you are. Oh, I can't wait.
Not several dad bods. That's not
Just the perfect you dad bod.
I'm working on it, man, and then I'm gonna wear Star Trek uniform just like you got.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Show the people.
Let's say hey real quick because John's out there. Hi, John. Hi, buddy.
Hey, John. How you doing, buddy? John says, "Good evening, gents. So happy to see your magnificent faces. Yours. Well, we don't see your face, but we love you."
Well, I see your picture face, and that's enough for me.
Radar says, "Aloha, folks. Aloha to you." I don't know whether are you saying hello or are you saying goodbye? We need to know.
Ciao.
And Chris Harris, man, what's going on, buddy? Chris is gave me a good idea for maybe TikTok, or I think I might parlay it into YouTube. And it's kind of like do a top 5 or something, whatever streaming, the top movies that are streaming on the different things each week, and kind of like what I'm covering.
Smart.
So I've covered. Yeah, I had a couple of movies I watched this weekend streaming because I couldn't go to the theater.
Yeah, but, theaters, and you had COVID.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep everybody safe.
Exactly. Doing your part.
But guys, as you know, this is an open forum show. Join in, talk to us. Let's have a good time. If there's anything you want to see us talk about, bring it up in the comments and we will cover it. But Casey got a new uniform. I'm calling it a uniform.
I did. It is a uniform. I did. I'm actually heading to what is it? No, Dragon Con this weekend. Very excited. My first time. Super stoked. And I was like, well, what am I going to go as? What do I want to be? What most embodies Casey? And obviously, it would be Star Trek. So I scoured for a long time to make sure I found something that wasn't chintzy and something that looked good. And I fell in love with the Strange New Worlds outfit. So yeah, the 100% got the new Strange New Worlds costume. Super excited, full on captains, because I'm a captain. You got to dress for the job you want, and I want a
Oh,
job in
Captain.
Starfleet. So,
Captain, my captain.
Thanks, Rudyard. But
Now, just so everybody knows, he is taking after Captain Kirk, the Shatner Kirk.
No. That is 100% Pike, Anson Mount, Christopher Pike. That is exactly who I'm forming after, because never Kirk. I'm a never Kirk, man. I don't have any Kirk-like qualities. I'm Picard because I question and second guess and reconsider all options way too many times. And then usually pull the trigger on just like, well, this hurts the least people.
And see, that's always made me laugh, because I was always more of a Kirk.
No, absolutely.
Kick in the door and figure it out later, sort of situation. I mean, and you've known that about me in our past adventures, and other people who know me well know that, like, Kirk has always been one I've gravitated towards. And Riker has always been up there as a similar type of person as Kirk in that sense.
Yeah.
But I always couldn't stand Riker because he wasn't the captain. And it was like, well, you're kind of insubordinate. I'm like, it's not insubordinate when you're the captain, but it is insubordinate when you're not the captain. And I get annoyed.
I have to say, he did a pretty good job of riding that line. That's one thing I liked about Rikers. He was a good enough first officer, because he always carried out the captain's mission. Oh, yeah. Always, whatever the captain's orders were, he got them done.
No, he didn't.
Well,
not all of the captains.
Wait, which ones? Are you talking about Jellicoe?
Jellicoe.
Come on. He still worked with Jellicoe. He did the job he was given, which was to do the bidding of the captain. He just subverted a little bit, and maybe, he found the loophole room.
You got to ask me nicely in his stupid robe. You got to ask me, like, get out of here, Riker, with your bullshit. Jellicoe's just trying to make everything work. Everybody's getting pissed because they have to work on an extra shift. Whiny little babies.
Hey, man, look, Jellicoe came in and just was a sledgehammer in the middle of, like, a crystal palace. He wasn't ready and didn't realize the perfect harmony that it was in.
No, everybody says that. All Star Trek fans say that. No, I'm just going to say this. He was getting them ready for taking on the unexpected with the Cardassians. And it was important because he was the only one that knew how to handle them and how they worked. And they didn't know. So, yes, it was a crystal ship that everything worked perfectly on under Picard. And that makes sense for their normal shows, for their normal stuff. But when it comes to this, and Picard's gone and Jellicoe takes over, he got them ready, and that's why they succeeded.
Look, I don't disagree with that. Jellicoe definitely had his own way, and as a captain, it's prerogative. They show up, they're in charge. That's how the chain of command works.
So I knew this would happen. I knew once we started talking about Star Trek, we were going to get, and I'm not blaming anybody else but myself, because I knew as soon as I started, I was like, Jellicoe's going to come up.
Well, of course, it's Ronnie Cox. I mean, he's one of the greatest. He's one of the greatest on-screen captains ever, because he was a good captain.
Yeah.
But he was hated because he was a hard-nosed captain versus Picard, who was obviously the diplomat. I mean, he's captain of the freaking flagship. There's a reason he's that way.
He wasn't even a hard-nosed captain. He just changed things up, and Geordi bitched about it. The space rapist just went out there and bitched.
You pump your brakes.
I love LeVar Burton.
I would totally trust him in a Jeffries tube.
We got to get these kids to the Jeffries tubes. I remember that line.
You're the worst. You're the German sausage.
Says, Geek
What's
Fest
up, Kathleen? Hello, friend. Kathleen? You magnificent human.
Radar, Casey's mission. Deduce who Adam Savage is on the cosplay for. Do it.
That's going to be a tough one, but I might have to try.
Tackle him.
I'm not Kirk.
I insomnia watched the first 25 minutes of Psycho remake from the 90s last night. Why? And then switched to a comfort show so I could finally. Is it because Anne Heche died? Rest in peace, Anne Heche.
Yeah, probably. That's why I would think. I mean, she's done after the first 25 minutes, so that's fitting.
I know.
You don't have to watch the whole thing.
I hate that movie. No, because what's her name? Julianne Moore is in the rest of it, and she's pretty good.
Okay, she was all right. But
she was like the only good thing.
Vince Vaughn?
Vince Vaughn played Norman Bates.
Yeah.
He did not do well.
I mean, but it's Norman Bates. Is there really a great portrayal of Norman Bates?
Here's why it didn't work. If you watch that original, Anthony Perkins comes off as like a really likable character.
Mild-mannered dude. Yeah, just a dude
He's
that you
not,
kind of get agreeable, if you will.
and that's why she does not fear him. She pities him. Because like he's just like even like, oh, boy's best friend is mother, and like she's like, okay, lame-o, whatever. But he still comes off as somebody who couldn't hurt you.
Yeah.
And of course we know. But Vince Vaughn looks like a serial killer. He's intimidating. Those eyes look dead. Especially after they joined the Republican Party. And I'm sorry, I had to. It was just a joke.
I mean,
all my
about,
Republican friends, I'm kidding with you.
What about like I was expecting him to start doing some swingers lines, honestly.
Well, I mean, even then, like in Swingers, he looks like a guy who preys on women. Maybe not in a way that he'll murder them, but or
No.
you know, sexually assault them, but like he preys on them.
That's fair.
And he's got the eyes. So like playing Norman Bates is like it's too on the nose, and that's not what they were going for.
So you're saying they should have said someone nicer? So back then, like who? Like Kevin Kline?
Kevin Kline would have been great. Kevin Kline could play a dirtbag, but you still like him. I just watched French Kiss last night.
Oh, great movie.
Mary loves that movie. I'd never seen it, so we watched it, and I'm like,
awesome.
he plays it worse. He has a worse accent than Dick Van Dyke.
Well, that's the joy of it. He comes from the school of Dick Van Dyke. You know, I feel a kinship to those men because it's like that's my humor, 100%.
I'm like, you're surrounded there. He's surrounded by all these great French actors, and they all have natural French accents, and him not so much. Him is
douchey Klein.
So on.
I have to say, my favorite version of Kevin Kline though is definitely A Fish Called Wanda.
Dave.
Really? Dave. Oh, that's right. You're Dave all day.
I love Dave. I love that movie. Everybody should watch it.
In and Out was pretty fantastic too.
Which one?
In and Out.
Oh, In and Out's great movie.
Oh, it's great.
Oh, watch The January Man. You want to watch a really good one?
Okay.
Yeah, he plays a cop who's like a genius detective. It's a really intricate storyline, but it's well done comedy. Alan Rickman's really good in it. Harvey Keitel's in it. Like, there's a bunch of people. I think it's Andy McDowell, or it might be Mary Elizabeth. It's been a long time.
Yeah,
Mastriano. It's really well done. He does a great job in it, and they're hunting a killer, like, and it's called a calendar killer.
Oh, that's pretty rad.
Yeah, it's really well done. I think it's on Hulu. You should check it out.
Okay, that sounds pretty neat. Yeah, I'm in. I'll check it.
Radar says that's the perfect way to watch Psycho, though. No, the perfect way to watch Psycho is watch the original.
No, but being up from insomnia and then watching the original, yeah, that would jack me up. I mean, I did that with Vertigo.
Watching so many horror movies lately, it's like, oh, it's crazy.
Yeah, you're in a wash, brother. Next week will be. Are we on your 20 catch up next week yet, or will that be?
I'm on 65 now, so 10 more days.
We got 10 more. Okay,
we'll have 20 more.
Well, then, if my math checks out, it'll be 2 weeks.
No, it'll be 10 days.
Yeah, but if next Sunday, you'd still have 3 more movies to get to the full 20.
Listen,
so we won't actually do.
I don't know math.
I know, man, and that's why I wasn't trying to do a full breakdown here because math is dumb.
Kathleen, I got a question for you. Was Riker bearded or beardless?
Oh, Kathleen, I am so with you with Riker of the first on-screen crush. Hell yeah, I get it.
But
that was the first time I was jealous of a beard. Well, bearded. Beardless looked like me, and I was like, whatever. The moment he was bearded, it wasn't a crush. It was like I was jealous of someone's facial hair. That was the first moment when I was really like, damn, that's a nice beard.
That was the first time I saw somebody like you saw beards on like people with beards, like actors and such. Mostly it was mustaches back in the day, in the 80s, especially.
Or then BJ and the Bear, or like.
But like anytime somebody had a beard, it was either like a scruffy beard and they were kind of a down and out type of person, like Sonny Crockett on Miami Vice, or. But he was the first one that had like a perfect put together beard and was in a power position.
Yep.
Agreed. That I remember. Like, because most of the time you saw other beard, like Ron Silver always had a beard in movies and he always played like a psychopath.
Yeah, this is true. Well,
I was like,
Mr. Belvedere only had a mustache, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he was the only mustache.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool, Radar, but then I really needed to sleep. I don't blame you. It was because it was the only version of the movie I could stream. Really? They don't have the original available? That's crazy.
Ooh.
I would have think that would be available everywhere.
Yeah.
I fell asleep watching Sandman the other night. Not a criticism on the show. It's great, but I was really, really tired. I haven't gotten into it yet. I want to check it out.
That's my next one. And honestly, John, I've been having the same issues. I've consistently 3 times I've tried to start it and I keep falling asleep. But I know myself, if I start it and get a certain point in and fall asleep, I will stop trying to rewatch it and it'll go away for a year. But I've heard too many good things, so I'm definitely going to sit down and check it out.
Wasn't it doing? If you're falling asleep watching it, isn't it doing its job well?
Technically, yes, but it's Neil Gaiman, so you really need to pay attention to everything. So it's a constant battle back and forth. It's like trying to stay up after taking NyQuil and hanging with your friends and seeing how long you can stay awake.
No, Sandman. He's making you go to sleep.
Oh, I got it. I was just completely spinning something off and outrageous.
Oh, well, I don't catch on that fast. They should have used Robert Carlyle. He would have nailed it. I don't know Robert.
Robert Carlyle. Gosh, he was in Stargate, the one that got canceled after one season, where they're in the Ark. Oh, come on. He was in Happily Ever After. Wow, why am I pulling these ridiculous? No, Carlisle's been in so many big things that I can't think of a huge one. Oh, it's killing me.
Fine, I'll look him up.
No, this is outrageous.
I have to see his face though.
Yeah,
that's why
I can't remember some of the stuff he's been in. He was great though.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, no, because he looks like a serial killer. You cannot have Norman Bates look like a serial killer. He has to look trusting, or else this woman's not going to be the only person staying at this roadside motel.
Or you get someone like Gary Oldman who could play 9 different versions of him throughout the movie, and then he could probably play the dead mother better than anyone else.
If you really, it's an out there suggestion, but they should have gotten Brad Pitt. He's so good looking, you would believe she trusts him.
Yeah, because he would just be a nice guy, and if you're attractive and even slightly nice, there's a very good chance that you're a serial killer.
Yeah, Anthony Perkins as Norman Bates in the original is like the good looking guy. He is a good looking guy, everyday man of the 60s. And that's
God, I need to go back to the 60s. That's the problem. My face was made for the 60s. That's
oh man, you're too hard on yourself.
I've solved it now. I figured it out.
You're like the Jellicoe of your face.
I am. I'm hardcore. I'm gonna whip this thing into shape one way or the other.
Radar says King of the Mustaches, Magnum PI. I mean, yeah, that's hard to argue.
It's difficult to argue, but I don't know. I feel like there are other mustaches out there. Burt Reynolds, bro. Gator.
You went Gator? I was gonna go full Smokey.
Oh yeah, well, I mean,
I think Smokey and the Bandit is when Burt Reynolds was the most Burt Reynolds.
Oh, absolutely. Well, that was the bear rug picture time, so that was the absolute most Burt Reynolds possible. He burnt so hard.
I love those movies. I can watch those any day of the week.
They're fantastic.
Mr. Gold and once. Oh, you see, now I know, and I don't even watch that show. My wife watched it. Gary Oldman as the mom.
See, Kathleen knows what's up. Gary Oldman could do it all.
No,
he could
Gary
play the fucking rocking chair.
Gary Oldman's character in True Romance as the mom.
That I want to see. I want to see that on stage. That should be a stage presentation.
Oh, you just got that weird Jamaican accent. He's screaming at people. You need to watch his stuff. He can switch between really convincing to what the fucking.
Yes, he can.
I've seen him before. Now that I've seen his face, I know who he is. I couldn't picture Robert Carlyle. It's not that I don't know who he is. It's that I could not picture who he was until I saw him. He is a great actor. Just an old soul, Casey.
Yep. Trapped inside this body, screaming at kids to get off my lawn.
You know what that means when people say you're an old soul? Your time is up. You should die.
What is that? Man, I've had a lot of people die in the last couple of weeks. Let's not joke. I'm scared. That could be a thing. And plus, you seem to be a bringer of doom. All right. Every time you brought someone up here recently, I feel
Dick Van Dyke is still okay.
Van Dyke, stop saying his name. Just stop saying his name.
I'm just saying. I said that, and he's fine.
Yo, no, this is the Candyman scenario, except this one's way more realistic.
It still makes me feel sad that I broke the news to Chris Mulkey about Fred Ward.
That was crazy.
I'm like, what the hell, man? Why did I have
That
to
was
open my mouth?
like, and you could tell he was about to jump into this story of like, oh, Fred Ward, yeah. And then all of a sudden, he just passed, and the look on his face, man, that was rough.
Yeah, that
I
went
mean,
both
luckily
ways.
I didn't say anything at that point. I just got to stare at you like.
Yeah, I know. I'm just the one with his foot in his mouth. Gary Oldman from Tiptoes as the mom. I don't remember Tiptoes. A stage presentation of Psycho needs to be a musical. Just think, it would enhance the narrative.
Yes.
I'm so tired. I'm gonna stay at this hotel. And then you just get like
ring,
the big
ring.
boom, boom, boom.
All I hear is ring, ring. They summon me forth and ask for more towels. Ring,
Then
ring.
you get the strings. Owls everywhere.
This becomes some kind of creation from Kathleen O'Hara's mind. Or Catherine O'Hara, sorry. I'm thinking of what is it? Come on.
You played
the one where she plays with what does she play?
Catherine who?
With Eugene Levy, Dan Levy's show.
Schitt's Creek.
Yeah. Imagine her putting on the show. That's the level we would have to go through for that Psycho on stage. It'd be fantastic.
I remember the time I put on a one-woman show of Psycho. I love it. So I did want to get into kind of like what's going on in the world of geek today.
Yes.
A little bit, and touch down on your feelings. Have you had a chance to watch anything from She-Hulk?
Oh, yes, I've watched the first 2 episodes.
All right. Well, let me get your opinion on it. We're going to do a full review on She-Hulk when the season's over. So just keep in mind of that. But, I do want to get your opinion so far on the 2 episodes.
2 episodes in, I'm a big fan. I like what they're doing. I like that it's a different show. I like that it's a different take. I enjoy the fourth wall breaks being minimal, but still effective. I really like the way they're covering having the Hulk, the way they got right into She-Hulk becomes her, and she wants to be a lawyer. She's exactly who she is in the comic books. Yeah. It's wonderful, and I'm a big fan of that. And Titania just showing up, breaking shit because she's awful. She's just an awful person. She's just a bad person. That's what she is in the comic books. It's perfect. It's what you want to hear. It's what you want to see. I've enjoyed it thoroughly. I think they really cleaned up the special effects, and I've enjoyed it.
I do not think they cleaned up. I think they cleaned up the effects with everybody but She-Hulk, and I don't understand it.
I feel it, man. Maybe I just don't see it. You and I have seen something different. Maybe my eyes are so bad that effectively it saves me from seeing whatever it is you're seeing.
Listen, the doctor told me I may have diabetes eyes now, and I don't know what that is.
Some diabetes eyes.
Some diabetes eyes. Type 2 diabetes eyes. But I know when I watch that show, I'm like, here's the thing, it doesn't bother me. Mm-hmm. Like when I watch those trailers, I'm like, I hope it's better than this, because her acting keeps me in. She's so good. Tatiana Maslany is very good, so she keeps me in there, and I'm interested. I prefer when she's not She-Hulk.
Okay.
Because again, like then there isn't anything really distracting from the performance. I don't know what it is, but it just like the Hulk seems like you believe it. He's there. Like he has a figure there. Like even Abomination, everything, whoever they're showing, she looks animated. And I don't understand what that choice was.
I don't know if you know this, but she is animated.
No, I understand that, but the Hulk, like they put detail into his face and who he is and stuff like that. Like her, like it seems like greenwashed almost. Like it seems
because she's
weird.
Super smooth skin.
You're defending it, and it's not that good. It's not, but here's the thing, it's a good enough show to stand on its own.
Absolutely.
Like I don't need those effects to be perfect. Like I said, everything I've really liked everything about it. Like when people start bitching and moaning about the women, being stronger than Hulk, how's that? I'm like, dude, they were jokes. Like, calm down. Like everything that you're complaining about has been explained and different. Exactly. It's ridiculous. I do not like the hypocrisy from Marvel Disney, where it's, you know, they're trying to push women forward in Marvel, and especially with, you know, something like a product like this. And then you're saying to myself, but when she grows into She-Hulk, she's just perfect hair, and yeah, it's like there's a little bit of hypocrisy on that. Like,
that's exactly what it is in the comic book, though. I disagree there, because you're getting exactly what we got from the comic book in a show, which is what I wanted.
But the comic book has been around for so long, it hasn't been a place of hypocrisy. It's like, this is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
If that's the case, just say it's just like the comic book. I don't know why you're bitching. They are bitching about it. They are putting statements out.
Mm-hmm.
And in this defense, and it's like, yeah, you're coming off sort of as hypocrites in this sense. Like, shut up. Like, because there are people who don't know that they know that it might come from a comic because it's Marvel and stuff like that. But there's a lot of people who don't pay attention to that stuff.
That's fair.
And those people who are bitching and moaning. Now, all that shit aside, I don't care. I do like it. It's funny. It makes me laugh. I love that Marvel's most famous cousin, her father is played by TV's most famous cousin, and Cousin Larry, Mark
Cousin Larry. Oh man, I was so stoked to realize that that's the Banners' home. That's the way the Banners live. The Banners are just folk. Bruce is a crazy person who became a rage monster, you know, and the rest of them are just folk. They're just people. I love it.
And I love that, like, you know, if anybody missed it, like there was like a little bit of a snippet afterwards. He puts her to work, like she has to hold the car up as they change the tires. She carries all the water bottles in. Like, he's like, I have some stuff I need you to do for me. You know, it's well done. The comedy is played out well, and I want to see where this goes. I'm glad the Hulk is gone. I love the fact that he was there in the first season. I love that they're setting up something new with him, where he's going to probably go back to Scar. But it's going to be her own show. I like that it's a legal show, because you know she's going to defend Emil Bronsky, and that's going to be the big case this season.
And we're going to get Matt Murdock. We already know.
In the red and gold, man. I can't wait for that red and yellow, dude. I cannot wait.
It's going to be dope.
That's
and
my
then
jam.
And I'm loving Jamila Jamil's Titania. I think it's fantastic so far.
Well, she's only been in it for like a second. She was funny
for
a second.
That's all you need.
She looks stupid, though. She looks stupid.
But that's what Titania looks like. That's what you know what I'm saying.
No, I agree. I'm not. This isn't a comment like it is for the visual effects, because it's, for me, she looks dumb. Like that whole costume looks dumb. Everything, but it looks exactly like what an influencer superhero would wear.
Right, 100%.
And I love that. Don't get me wrong. Like that's not me saying, and I love her. She's such a fantastic actress. She was great on The Good Place. She has a lot of other stuff she does too. Yeah. So I'm excited to see more of her. But when I saw the pictures of it, I didn't realize she was playing an influencer, because Titania is not really an influencer.
No, Titania is just a street thug who keeps running into wrong places and being at the wrong place at the wrong time, like consistently. And whenever you have the chance to walk away, Titania won't. That's her problem. She's the idiot who goes, let's just do this thing. It's like,
and so for them to make her an influencer in this, when I saw the pictures of it, I'm like, I don't know about this. What is she playing? She doesn't look like a supervillain. And then when I heard like she's just like a ditzy, like, supervillain influencer, I'm like, all right, this is perfect. This is perfect.
Brilliant.
And in the courtroom, probably for a DUI. You know, like,
she's in there for DUI and then just crashes through the wrong side to try to escape. And then she's because Jamila Jamil posted one of these little extras of like her out and about spray painting over She-Hulk stuff as Titania, doing the Titania bit. It was pretty awesome. It was pretty great.
That's fantastic. Chris says old soul and old eyes. That's true.
Yes, they are 39 and heading to 72.
Oh, by the way, Chris is our winner of our monthly patron prize giveaway. Chris, I'll reach out to you so I can get your address and stuff. We'll send it out to you.
Awesome. We got stuff for you, Chris. You get things and stuff. Woot, woot.
John says, why can't Marvel use forced perspective techniques to make She-Hulk look bigger than everyone else? The way Peter Parker shot Lord of the Rings,
Peter Jackson,
the actress, and almost everything could be practical. I do agree, and the only reason I agree with that is because Marvel did that with de-aging makeup with Kurt Russell in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2,
and Mike Douglas Did they have to actually de-age his face digitally?
I don't know, so I don't want to comment on. I'm
Fair
not
enough.
sure, but he looked good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked him too, even if they did. But because they did it a few times with him. They did it in Ant-Man, but they also did it in both Ant-Mans, and then they did it in Endgame when they went back in time. So I'm not sure if they did that with him, but Kurt Russell looked like Kurt Russell did back in the day, and they said that was 90% makeup.
Well, I believe that. I mean, he doesn't need much help.
No, but I mean, he is older. He's up there. So I like the
that's
fact that
fair.
they did it. And I like what John's saying. I wish there was a forced perspective almost. You can tell it's computer generated. She's on stilts. And it just sometimes the way the camera has to be because she's on stilts, it looks odd. And listen, this is from a guy who stands taller than most everybody. Like I get it. Like you can pull it off. But yeah, I just get some apple boxes. But she is so short in real life too.
Oh, I mean, she's what, like 5'2"?
Yeah, she's super tiny. So it is really funny the difference in size that She-Hulk is compared to Tatiana Maslany, who is she's tiny. She's a little one.
Well, that's why for the longest time it was a while for me to understand like John Rhys Davies as a dwarf. I was like, this guy's huge.
Yeah.
He's like 6'5". What's he doing?
He's a big dude.
He's a big dude.
Sorry, I guess
the movie.
I'm not tired. That's when I talk too much because I'm getting over the COVID lungs.
Time to move it along to the next topic.
Yeah. Well, real quick, just say no problem, man. We're happy. Congratulations. And, I will get with you about that.
Thank you for listening and being a supporter, Chris. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. Next topic is House of the Dragon. Have you watched it yet?
Oh my God! So I'm watching episode 2 as soon as we're done here. I'm so excited for this show, man.
So you have watched it.
Okay, the first episode, I love the time jump. I love the era they're going with. I am super excited to see how this all works out. We get more dragons.
Sell me on this show. I watched 10 minutes of it and I was like, I'm just not in.
Well, because you don't want to be in. And I'm not going to sell anyone who doesn't want to be in.
But
for anyone out there listening, who will actually enjoy fantasy, as opposed to my friend here.
I'm going to watch the new Willow show.
Are you really?
Yeah, I love Willow.
Yeah, but you love Willow. That's Spielberg.
I mean, it's no Mad Mardigan, which pissed me off, but whatever.
You really are the greatest swordsman in the world.
I love
Still
Mad
one of the best
Mardigan.
lines ever, man. He was amazing.
All right, just tell me what to say, because all I got was it was 172 years before everything. So I guess they time jump. What do they time jump to?
So this is great grandparents of Daenerys, and we're dealing with them, and we're dealing with the last strong house of Targaryens before the fall of the Targaryens. So this begins the evolutionary fall as the last dragons start to die, because we're at the height of their power. So now we're going to see them slowly devolve, and the political intrigue that'll be thrown in with the two brothers fighting against each other. We're going to have the young girl, basically, we're going to follow this princess's journey as she raises her new dragon, becomes a queen, is the first queen because her predecessor, her aunt, essentially had the option to become queen, but they didn't give it to her. And now the king is like, nah, screw this. I'm handing it to my daughter, my heir. So that's going to be a really fun kind of twist how they throw that in there. More than likely, it's going to have the intrigue of Matt Smith's character chasing her and hunting her down to kill her, a la, Octavio being Augusta Caesar being hunted down by Mark Antony. So it's going to be a very similar kind of interesting coup style there. That's what we're looking at. And man, you really want to be sold on it. Pro dragons.
Yeah, listen, dragons. But
dragons where everybody's trained on them. Like, these are people who are like, oh my, it's a dragon. They've been going for years. How do I work with this? They're like, nah, you just scream Dracarys and they burn stuff. It's great.
Here's the thing. All right. It's not Game of Thrones left me with such a fatigue after it was over. Because it was just like, it did, not saying that it went out in a note that I don't agree where everybody's like, oh, it's terrible. I don't agree that it was terrible, but it fizzled. It was like walking to the finish line.
I'll agree that there were definitely parts that lacked some of the pizzazz and panache, and maybe some of the time to complete after the time that was invested to get me invested in some of those characters.
Yeah.
And then they kind of went, and it's done. It's like, okay, what? The Winterfell stuff was amazing when it was dealing with the Starks. I loved that. That was so great, the way they showed them and their community camaraderie. Taking down Baelish and everything else. Sorry for anyone who hasn't seen it yet. But
I mean,
but the whole series, you and I are different in that, because I would watch every season. And then I would watch the previous seasons to prep for the next season. Like, I mean, I did that.
No, I did too.
All 8 years. Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah. I always prep to watch them. I really like that show. It was that final season where it was like, we got to tie this up fast. And it's like, you don't have to. You didn't need
they didn't have to. I mean, Battle of Winterfell could have gone a way better direction.
Probably should have. Like, because that was what everybody was. I mean, you can't say winter is coming every fucking season, every episode. To winter finally coming, and then you're like, hey, it's over. It's
well, like, winter came, but you could only see it if you were sitting in the dark.
So that's very fair, especially when you had such great battles like the Battle of the Bastards and everything else. Like, I mean, you had so many awesome battles on that show, and then like the one most epic battle that's coming, and this is what we got. It pissed me off, but
yeah, I mean, Harrenhal was pretty messed up. I think it was Harrenhal or whatever, the one when they're up north and the undead rise and they have to run away. The wildlings just get smoked from whatever.
So good.
Hardhome. That was brutal.
But they just
Battle of the Bastards, when you were actually feeling that constriction, that you're through the bodies in Jon Snow trying to climb out.
I never thought of a battle being like that.
Yeah.
Never. So like to see it and you're like, well, this is how it probably had to be.
Way closer.
Because you always see them spread out all over the battlefield. And it's like, oh no, like this makes sense. Like this is messed up.
Yeah. I mean,
in fact, Avengers Endgame probably should have ended that way.
Yeah, that would have been way more feeling that way, honestly. Yeah. Just crawling up. But that was there's a couple other movies that do something similar to that, but it's that feeling, that fear of trying to escape. Like that's what the Battle of Agincourt was. That's why the British were able to, or the English were able to beat the French with King Henry.
That's not why.
Well, the mud. No, they got stuck in the mud.
Yeah,
and then the archers shot them.
And they were and they were
I mean, look, you know how I feel about medieval France. It's the most boring period in all of history. They sucked. They just sucked.
So bad.
They were just boring and annoying, and they all just get it out of here. Yeah.
It really was. It really was.
Hey, Ridley Scott, go make a movie about any other time period.
Oh my God, tell me about it, right? Like Jesus. I think he is going back to Gladiator, but still, like, there's so many Caesars that could have a movie.
Every one of them could have a movie. I mean, I understand people probably don't want to deal with Claudius's children swimming in his feet, calling him his little fishes. That's probably a little touchy subject, but hey, you know what? Whatever. Rome was wacky.
There's so many crazy stories. Like, did I tell you? I interviewed one of the actors from Vikings today.
Get out, for real.
Yeah, Kelly Campbell. She played Ingvild on it.
Yo, that is awesome.
Because she has a new movie out. So for just catch everybody up, because now it's just like we're having a conversation.
We're just going all over the place now. Yeah, don't mind.
And I promise I'll get to the comments just a second, and we'll get back to House of Dragons just a sec. So I was talking to we're the Scene Snobs, us.
Yes.
And I'm not telling Casey this, I'm telling all of you this. Are sponsors of the Skyline Indie Film Fest. We have been for like 3 years now. It's a great independent film festival here in Winchester, Virginia. It's happening from September 8th to September 11th. If you guys can't come to Winchester, it's also hybrid, so you can stream everything on Eventive. Go to skylineindiefilmfest.org and you can go check out, you can get passes, check out all the movies. There's tons of really great stuff. Anyway, that brings me to my point. So we're doing filmmaker interviews for Pulling Focus podcast, which now the show with Brian, and it's the official podcast for Skyline. So, and again, not telling Casey anything, like this is nothing new to Casey. Like I'm telling you guys. So what we're doing is we're doing a filmmaker showcase. We're interviewing, trying to get all of the filmmakers that are in Skyline. We've done so many interviews over the past week. It's insane. So we're watching today, and we're talking to this woman, Kelly Campbell, who just directed a short film based on a James Joyce novel. It's called An Encounter, and it's going to be playing at Skyline.
Okay.
She's from Dublin. So I'm talking to her, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm an actor, and you know, I've got a new AMC Plus movie, TV show coming out called Sanctuary." And I'm like, "Oh, let me look that up. I love AMC and the movies and the shows they're putting out." I look it up, and the first thing I see is Vikings, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, "I know you," and I'm like, "You England?" She's like, "Yeah, I was." And then we talked about that for a little while, but I'm like,
awesome.
I'm kind of starstruck right now because I love Vikings. Such a good show. Now, how does that correlate into anything we were just talking about? Just make better stuff than there's period pieces like Vikings.
Yeah, there's plenty of options for different periods in all of history. I mean, there's a lot of history, y'all. I haven't seen anything cool about the Tigris and Euphrates. Let's go back to some ancient Sumeria, bro. Let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down for anything at this point. Like, and I kind of, that's another thing. Like, I'm not against Game of Thrones, but I kind of want more historical stuff from that time frame.
I get that. I mean, there's some fascinating things that would be really interesting and curious to follow along. I think there's also once again an issue with boredom because people were just
it doesn't have to be that
pooping
particular
in the streets, and like, I mean, then you get wind up with movies like Silence about Jesuit priests in the 1700s or whatever. Blah blah blah.
I don't need that. I don't need that. I mean, you can make a Game of Thrones style historical. There are interesting shit that happened throughout history, and you know that.
Bro, they don't have zombies or dragons.
We don't know that. We weren't there.
Okay, any dragons we have are pretty much just lies, or probably like some sort of like hairless animal that had rabies at the same time and was just sprinting out of a cave.
I still maintain I will still only accept the Reign of Fire explanation of what happened to dragons. That's
the most logical one, really. I think Reign of Fire can really be used as a roadmap to how to live your life on most things.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Like, if there's ever something that was true, it's probably Reign of Fire.
I mean, if I ever wanted to be Matthew McConaughey, it would be only in Reign of Fire. That was the best Matthew McConaughey.
I would kind of debate that. I don't know that that's true. I don't know that that's true.
Saying.
I mean, that's a great movie, but I don't know if that's the best. I mean, Days of Confused is great.
Yeah, but for him, I mean, for his character, he was hitting on high school chicks, and he was out of high school. It was problematic, bro.
It was problematic, but it was also the 70s, and that shit happened.
Well, yeah, of course. Just because I know what happened doesn't mean I need to go, well, let me support that 40 years ago.
No, we're not supporting it. We're not supporting it. We're not saying, hey, he should do that. What we're saying is he's playing the guy that exists and that it existed.
That's very true.
It's a historical piece.
It's very factual. They actually had a few people they were able to get direct interviews from that time period.
Don't besmirch Days of Confused. I love that movie.
I love that movie too.
Listen, okay. I see you turned in the coffee mug with my face on it for a coffee mug of me.
Yeah, no, this is actually a coffee mug face. I haven't figured out what its name is. I'm pretty sure it's Horatio, but I'm going to wait until the soul that's trapped inside of it can tell me what it is.
Draw a beard on it, and it's Mick. That's what it is.
Yeah, I could do that. I could beard it up.
So
I gotta change that eye color too for you.
And also, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days was a really good movie.
Well, come on, really?
You're
gonna put that one out there?
Romance.
Failure to Launch was great too.
No, I didn't say that. I did not say that. I didn't say. I didn't dislike it, but I didn't say that.
No, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days is one of the better rom-coms out there. I'm not going to disagree with you. Failure to Launch was terrible. He did have a lot of good movies. I really liked him.
Interstellar.
Yeah, Interstellar was amazing. Dallas Millionaire Buyers Club.
Another historical piece.
Another historical piece. We had actual interviews.
Oh my god! All right, let's move on to the next thing. Let's get to the comments because there's a lot of people commenting. So Michael says, like the show, but it is so dark visually. I know. True. They've been pissing me off with that.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, Mike. How you doing, buddy? I love your helmet.
Yes.
Got the Rebel helmet on. Matt Smith as a villain is freaking amazing. Well, He's such a great actor.
He's fantastic. I loved him in The Crown. I've loved him, obviously, The Doctor, your favorite Doctor. So it's wonderful to see. His range is just incredible.
I'd love to care, but can I get a book 6? Sure.
I love that George R. R. Martin literally came out with a press release a few weeks back where he's like, all right, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to wrap up 3 major character plots. He then comes out 2 days later and goes, I don't think I should try timing when I'm going to complete parts of this book. It'll happen when it happens. And it's like, oh, man, that's terrible.
That's a guy from Jersey, if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, England, Jersey.
No, he's from Bayonne, New Jersey.
George R. R. Martin is?
Yeah.
Cool.
He's not from England. Look it up. He's from Bayonne, New Jersey.
Are you just making shit up? So
I am not making shit up.
Hey,
I'm not.
You just want my search
I'll get to this in a second, John.
Are they from Jersey? Or blank from Jersey? Is blank from Jersey?
No, I'm pulling it up now. I'm pulling up his Wikipedia. I'm going to show you because I'm right. You're wrong.
I don't like any part of this. I'm not a fan of finding out George R. R. Martin's from Jersey.
He's from New Jersey. I love this. I love the fact that you just thought he was English, and I get
anywhere other than Jersey.
Shut up. Share screen. I'm gonna find it. Hold on, it's coming. Here we go.
I mean, we're both looking at it. It's a race now to see who can get there first.
There we go.
So he's born in 1948.
Bayonne, New Jersey. Bayonne, New Jersey.
Is that a real place?
That's yes, because it's all right. Here's the deal. Where I was born, if you go under the overpass down the street, like 3 blocks,
okay. I'm sorry.
Bayonne, New Jersey.
So you go under the underpass. Is there a wardrobe you have to get through at some point?
It was a train underpass. You shut your face. And in fact, once you get under that overpass and you are in Bayonne, it says "Welcome to Bayonne" on it. You're in Bayonne. There's the Bayonne bowling lanes, where I've had numerous childhood birthday parties.
So,
and then there's Burger King across the street where I've had other numerous birthday parties. Because we didn't have a lot of money, so it's just kind of like where you went. So yeah, he's from Bayonne, New Jersey, right there.
Wow.
I love that I've ruined your life with the fact that the guy who wrote probably the biggest fantasy epics of all time. I mean, maybe Lord of the Rings is bigger, but Game of Thrones is huge.
Yeah. Oh, massive. Undeniable.
Is from not only New Jersey, but like where I'm from in New Jersey.
An underpass and apparently like a toll with a goat away from where you live in Jersey.
You're not wrong. You're not like, I realize like in your mind it's like fantasy, like it's fake troll, but you're not 100% wrong in that. But
no, they can still be real trolls. I mean, humans can grow horns.
They're like more like crackhead trolls.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Different types of trolls. You know, they have a horn that's sticking out of their mouth and is always lit.
I love that I blew your mind on that one. You're not
so uncomfortably so. I don't feel right now. More things are wrong than are right. The world is all off. Cats and dogs living together. Anarchy.
I love it. If seasons 7 and 8 had actually had 10 episodes so that the extra runtime could be used to tell the rest of the story, that might have helped. Yeah, I agree.
Agreed. Yeah, 100%. I honestly, John, think it suffered by not staying to 10 episodes per season.
I agree. The Game of Thrones show was the perfect example of writing happy birthday on a banner and not spacing it. Really pretend it's just fun.
Oh, absolutely.
That's a good one.
It's a long, happy, and then birthday.
It's just like kind of like tilted at the end. The Y is like down here.
Try to fit in when they had like half the space after happy was huge.
It's like that Office episode where it just says happy birthday on the printer screen. It just each page is a letter. It's brown and gray balloons everywhere half filled. It was the picture of the horse that starts out super detailed and photorealistic and ends up with the other end looking like it was drawn by a preschooler. Which horse?
Like any horse. Like if you draw a horse and it's super realistic.
Oh, stop topping. Kathleen killed it with that one. Don't top her. Get together. Work together on these. Because the horse one's good, but it's coming off the heels of the happy birthday. And so we need to get you two in a room together.
I love that your mind was definitely on bad banners, or it was just on birthday parties after discussing all of your Bayonne birthday extravaganzas.
Listen, I'm not saying they were great, but it's what we had.
Hey, no, look, I had some McDonald's birthday parties and they were great. As
I'm
I
on
remember, it
vacation
was
that week. I
awesome.
may have to take a road trip. Which week?
Yes, come on, Chris,
What
for
week?
Indy Skyline. Indy Skyline.
Oh yeah, it's an awesome festival. I'd love to see a Jack the Ripper time style. So I would too.
Yes,
I
yes.
didn't mind
Not
From Hell,
From Hell was good. I enjoyed From Hell.
but
It
it's
was
fiction because it's
fantastic
graphic novel.
acting. Exactly. That's the thing. It's very fictionalized, and I would really like to see something that kind of bridges that uh Basil Rathbone's,
Mhm.
Sherlock Holmes era, but with an actual murder mystery, because I don't need more
Yeah,
Sherlock. I got Benedict Cumberbatch. I'm great with it, but something in that esque, some sort of murder mystery style in that Victorian era would be fantastic. I love those.
yeah, I agree. Radar says Mick has confirmed at Burger King with a bowling alley inside. No, there was a bowling alley
Yes.
on one side of the street and a Burger King on the other.
Forget that
Inside
noise.
was
I want
video.
what Radar's got. Radar, we got to figure this out. We need to buy a warehouse to start working on this.
What's here? All right, let me ask you this:
Shoot.
what's the most famous fast food restaurant you've ever eaten in?
What do you
I
what do
have
you
one.
mean?
That's why I'm asking.
Like, what do you mean famous? Like, what makes a fast food restaurant famous? Like, there's a lot of McDonald's
I will
because they've
tell you.
served over 1 billion people globally, so that's kind of famous.
I had a burger. I went to Burger King once, and I had to eat it in the parking lot. I ate it in my car, and here's why. It's the Burger King from Back to the Future when he leaves docks and he gets on his skateboard and passes by a Burger King. It was in Burbank. And
Awesome.
so when I was living there, I rolled down there, I saw it, and I was like, yep, I'm getting Burger King. I'm going to sit in the parking lot because that's where Marty rode past.
Okay, that's
So
pretty radical.
I
Yeah,
loved it. I was so happy.
I
I've
I
also
don't
eaten
have
at the
anything.
diner. I have eaten at the diner from Pulp Fiction.
Ooh,
So
nice. Oh, that's actually way cooler because I love diners, so that sells. Well, the only cool place I ever went to was a Italian restaurant in Vegas, right next to Caesars. And then I remember kind of towards the end of the strip, and that was where like all the big names, the Sinatras and everybody who was playing at the Sands would come and eat
yeah,
there. So all those pictures up there, that was pretty rad.
that's awesome. Well, you went to. I was actually surprised when you went to L.A. and you didn't go to Musso and Frank's.
Yeah, it was a different trip. It was also
Because you're
late
a
night. I
history
didn't
guy.
have a whole lot of time. Yeah. And I definitely wanted to. I did get to, go see where OJ was convicted and go, check out.
Oh
That was
yeah.
a lot of fun going up to the courthouse and everything. I don't know why I was on such an OJ kick at that moment. I had just finished watching the American Crime Story, which was awesome, by the way, if no one's seen them.
I don't know if this has been pointed out about Nope, and I don't know. You can answer this for me. What makes a horse a bronco?
What?
What makes a horse a bronco?
I think it's
Or
got something to do with their nuts or how they were broken or not
maybe.
broken.
Well, Daniel Kaluuya's character in Nope is
Hmm.
named OJ, and he
Okay.
trains horses. And in one of the scenes, he's running from the ship on the horse, and it's a white bronco.
Hmm.
I really want to talk to Jordan Peele and be like, was this a choice? Like, was this? This had to be something
You mean
because he's
awesome
talking because
decision?
the whole movie's about spectacle, and that was a huge spectacle. The
That was a
OJ
massive
chase.
spectacle. I'm sure there's probably some other stuff put in there to, reflect different random spectacles.
I wonder. I would love to ask him and like just kind of pick his brain about it.
So a
But
bronco is just an untrained horse. So they're the ones who
mm,
ride wildly. Yeah. So it's basically an untrained horse. So when you're breaking them, they're broncs.
that makes
And
sense.
a steer. Oh no, that's a totally different animal.
That's a cow, like bull
Yep,
or
it's a
whatever.
cow. Yep. So the
Um,
bronco, yeah. I'm trying to see when they become
well,
whatever.
so
What's
so
after a
that makes
bronco?
sense. So it was a bronco because that was a horse they were training. They were trying to break, and it like
Hmm.
gets out and wildly runs away at one point.
Yeah,
So
did it just and it made it down the freeway?
God, that guy's a genius, man.
Just
He
took
is
off down
such a
the
genius.
101.
I love it. Shut up. I love that though. We can't work together. We're married. The heart attack grill.
Love it, John.
Well, let me click radar. Heart attack
Yeah.
grill. That's a good one. I don't want to work with him. I just spent 4 hours in a car with him. I barely want to look at him right. That's fair. She lies. She lies like the wind, what she breaks. Oh my God. That's hysterical.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Kathleen goes, you city boys not knowing animal turn. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll never forget when I owned my first house. And I think it was my father-in-law who like made fun of me and was just like, he's like, you don't have a green thumb to save your life. And I'm like, I was born in a concrete jungle and I pretty much lived there until now.
No, you're actively the most gray thumb man I know. Like if you could grow cement, I'm sure you'd find a way.
But I can walk through the ghetto with no issues because I know how to survive. Been there, done that in the 80s. I want to eat at the White Castle from Hell. Okay, here's the thing. Let's talk about that because I've eaten there too. But I put Back to the Future above it.
I would, absolutely.
So, all right. God, you had to bring up Harold and Kumar. Now the Jersey in me is upset.
I would enjoy the Jersey.
Here's the problem. In Harold and Kumar, they're in Newark. First of all, they're in Newark, and they find out that the only White Castle that they can go to.
Did you say Newark?
Newark. That's Newark,
where the hell is Newark, New Jersey?
Have you never heard of Newark, New Jersey? That's where the devil.
Do you mean Newark?
Newark.
Are you trying to say Newark?
Newark.
Newark.
I'm saying what you're saying.
You're saying Newark. It sounds like one of those snorks, but drop the S.
No, it's Newark.
Oh, you're terrible.
Oh my God! Stop! It's Newark. We're saying the same thing. So you're just you're pronunciating the new part of it, and it ain't that new.
I pronunciated the shit out of it. Yep.
Newark, New Jersey. All right, shut up.
He's back, folks.
so they're trying to get from Newark, New Jersey, to Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Now, anybody who's a Monster Mania fan knows where Cherry Hill is because that's where they have one of their Monster Manias every year. Now, it is massively far. It is like 2.5 hours from Newark to Cherry. It's gonna fucking drive me nuts. Cherry Hill. And there's like 7,000 White Castles in between there.
Yeah.
And now here's what drives me nuts. Is there's one scene where they go and they're like, wait, what happened to the White Castle? That's a movie theater, and they show a movie theater. That used to be the Route 18 flea market, and then became a Lowe's, and now it's an AMC on Route 18. Route 1 and 18 is what it is. So now you may remember the Route 18 flea market from Mallrats when they go to see the three-nippled.
Absolutely. How could you not?
Psychic. Hey, listen, I'm giving you Jersey tour right now. So they go to a fast food restaurant right next to it and say, what happened in the White Castle that was here? And he goes, oh man, they got rid of that. Here's the thing. There's never been in that vicinity, besides the Fuddruckers, any type of burger joint anywhere near that restaurant, anywhere near that movie theater. So that was bogus. But I can tell you, if you go back up the road, maybe closer to Newark, where they're coming from, you go back up the road maybe 10 minutes, there's at least 4 White Castles that they passed just to pass that place. And if they went a little more south and not Cherry Hill where they're told to go, there's at least 4 more that they could go to. So that movie pissed me off because it's like you took the one restaurant that New Jersey is everywhere, and you in this tiny state, and you were like, no, you got to go all the way to the other side of the state, man. They don't exist. Listen, jerk offs, that's not how this works. It's not Wawa. All right, relax. And now I'm just mad.
I can tell it's fantastic because the fact that you've broken down in Harold and Kumar how and where they could have more feasibly gotten White Castle, I feel like that alone deserves a movie on its own. Like you should do the 5-minute movie where you give them the right directions. Like
I can give you directions in anywhere in New Jersey just off of movie landmarks.
Oh, I absolutely believe it. And scrapyards.
No, there's not that many.
Sorry, you have to mix them with the flea markets. I know the flea markets and the scrapyards in order to zero in and actually get everywhere.
Now you're just hating on flea markets, and that's not okay.
I absolutely do not hate on flea markets. I love flea markets. Right, I would be a flea marketeur if I could.
Let's see what people are saying. So to answer your question, Radar, that Harold and Kumar White Castle wasn't real.
Yeah, it's horse shit.
Yeah, and it pisses me off because it's like you have so many, and it wasn't a real one.
I guarantee you the problem is there are more than just you. All the people who have been and lived for any period of time in New Jersey who now watches Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle probably feel the exact same way.
I can tell you anywhere to go. If you watched all of The Sopranos, I can give you directions to anywhere in New Jersey. Anyway, like I would need you to watch this stuff so I can give you directions, but like I can get you anywhere you need to go based on some shows and movies from New Jersey.
Oh my
It's legit, man. Like I
But here's the thing, you'd have to write it down because I can't listen to you say Nork.
I'm saying it the same way. You're such a jerk.
So John says
Kathleen calling someone else a city person amuses me. She won't even eat a rabbit. Rabbit's good.
Rabbit's real good.
Rabbit is real. And you can't call Casey. He grew up on a farm. Like he explained to me the difference between cows one day when we were driving, and I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't know there was a difference.
That is true, yeah.
And he like straight up, he's like, you can milk them, you can't milk them, you got to do this, you can ride them. And I'm like, what is happening? And he told me stories, and I was like, oh, all right.
Just the one thing I never did was tip, because that's just dick.
I don't know how you tip your cow. How do you tip a cow? The things are huge.
They like sleep. You just lean on them.
Oh, that's kind of funny.
Yeah. Fine. You know what? I'm gonna come over to your house tonight while you're sleeping. I'm just gonna roll your ass out.
I didn't say I was gonna do it. I just said it was funny.
It is kind of funny. Theoretically, or if there was just a big fake one that stood up and people could be like, "Get your tip in here," I'd go tip a big fake thing.
No, it's not the real. It's not a real thing. I have to tip the real ones. I wouldn't want to though, because it's like it's mean.
It hurts them, man.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to hurt the animal. I'm not like. Listen, we have cows in New Jersey. Shut up. We do. And I've never woken up in my life and was like, let's go tip a cow. I was like, I don't want to hurt an animal. I don't care. Like,
I grew up with them in my backyard, and I would like have to chase people away because I'm like, I don't want to do this.
Just shoot them.
It's way easier.
Shoot at the people. It'd be great. The differences in culture is funny. I live in an area where animal terms are a daily occurrence, but there is a public outrage about a roundabout. I'm from New Jersey. We have jug handles. Don't try to Michigan this up, okay? We all know that the entire state of Michigan looks like Detroit from RoboCop. That's literally what everything looks like. So you
does it though? Because I'd be pretty cool with that.
No, I wouldn't. I'm not. Unless RoboCop exists.
I mean, what if you're supposed to become RoboCop, bro?
I do not want to go through that.
All right,
I'm okay. I'm okay.
It's an option.
I'm good with not being the hero in this scenario. Rabbits are for petting, not nomming.
Disagree. Nope.
The cuter animals, they taste. I don't disagree.
Start shooting. That's why I had a little cute cow named Sarah. Man, she was one of my favorites, and she tasted delicious.
You did tell me that, and it's still horrifying. False turkeys are hideous and delicious. Well, yeah, I mean, ugly animals.
Turkeys are cute, man. Turkeys have beautiful hearts. Just because they're not attractive. Well, just because, they may not have, they're different in the face is all right. Just because you're not used to it. It's maybe not your idea of beauty. I think turkeys are beautiful little things, especially when they're coming all up to you and they put their, wings up and they attack and fly at your face with their little claws. It's so cute, right?
And you take your bat and there's Thanksgiving dinner.
Oh, yeah.
There's always an exception to any rule, Kathleen. I have no White Castle crystals or Jack in the Box.
Crystals is the best.
You have some. Crystals is good. Crystals is giving whereas you get those mini for anybody who doesn't know what Crystals is, because we had it in Florida.
Yes.
So when I lived in Florida, Crystals was there.
Crystal Burger in Georgia. Your Steak and Shake is the business.
Oh yeah, great shakes. And Whataburger.
Whataburger. That was my Texas special. Good. Yep. Love Whataburger.
I have to go to Charlotte too, and 2.5 hours for Jack in the Box.
Whoa,
that's a lot. I don't know
yeah.
that I need to go to Jack. I lived in LA. Jack in the Box was right there. It was never my top choice.
Honestly, I would always pass by Jack in the Box to get to Whataburger. It didn't matter. It's
You know,
always Whataburger, man.
you know what California had that was really good? Wiener Schnitzel.
Ooh,
Wiener,
what?
yeah, it was like this German place that sold hot dogs. Yeah,
Dude,
and it
better
was
than A&W, I bet, right?
no, nothing's better than A&W. Come on.
Bro, get out of here, because
It
A&W is
was
the business. We had one of those in the Danbury Mall in Connecticut,
I
which was
love
always great.
A&W.
Oh,
We used
yeah.
to have the A&W and the Stewarts where their car hops would come
Mhm.
out.
Nice.
But the Wiener Schnitzel, the drive-through was through the building. It was
What?
right in the middle of the building. Yeah, it was awesome. It was very cool.
Oh, that's pretty dope. And it reminds me of what was the place where Chuck, where Sarah worked.
Yep.
His girlfriend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't
There's a
remember
place
the
like
name
Wiener
of
Schnitzel. I can't remember the name of it either.
it. White Castle makes me sick. Sick. I don't think I've ever eaten at a famous place. Casey ever played cow patty bing? What the hell is? I don't want to know. I don't want to know. The best drunk fun in the country when you have to shit else to do. I'm passing that.
No,
Sorry, Radar.
most of my bingo was usually just trying to get out of a 45-minute radius so I could go hang out with other human beings.
Okay, we're going down to the picture house tonight.
Hey, all, we're going to go out to the bowling area. Would you like to go bowling, everybody? Load up in your cars. We're going to do a caravan 45 minutes away to go bowling.
Do you guys have cosmic bowling? No, we're not the future, son.
That sounds really futuristic, lad. We close here at about 9:30 p.m.
They give everybody a flashlight and turn off the lights.
It's pretty much, yeah. How do you like that? It's all black lights. Everyone's had special UV lights burning themselves.
Oh, turkeys are especially beautiful when roasting in my oven. Well, that's
Yeah,
true.
they are. Oh, they get delightfully golden brown. Meow.
However, they are the definition of bird brains and fly in the moving vehicles that move the order. You know, turkeys are the only animal that can drown when it rains
I believe that.
because they get so enamored by the rain, they look up, and because their beaks are set the way they are, they open, and the water just falls into their mouth and they die. And this is what Ben Franklin wanted the country's bird to be.
I mean, I would have been okay with it. It makes sense.
Let's go to our last topic tonight. We went to a lot of places. Let's talk about so Ezra Miller, he's back again.
Yeah.
And I want to discuss a little bit, and I want to get into it because I'm a little annoyed by this. He met with the Warner Brothers executives to apologize.
Yeah.
For his behavior.
Yeah.
Here's what's pissing me off.
For the bad press that it brought to the Flash movie is what I read as the quote headline.
It's I mean, he probably hasn't even apologized to his victims. Like, that's the worst part. And
because he probably doesn't see himself as having fucking victims.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit.
Probably claiming he's the fucking victim.
He's just.
I'm sorry. They are the fucking victim.
Well, here's what's pissing me off. So here's what really annoys me is when now Warner Brothers is very involved throughout all of this. When he was being, and the media really annoys me about it, is we've heard nothing about what happened with the victims. We don't know what really happened. We don't even know, like, he took people hostage with him, and was going out gallivanting and doing all these horrific things, these wicked crimes. And he's finally back now. He's going to rehab. There's been no charges pressed, anything like that. Like, there have been, but like they haven't like pushed through.
Yeah, I don't understand how he's not been at least arraigned at this point for something.
I don't know what's going on with it. You know, if he's out on bond, because they're not putting it. But here's the thing: when he was on the run and everything was going crazy, they were using pictures of him for lack of a better term, in his, I guess, more masculine form.
Mm-hmm.
And I know he's non-binary, and he goes by the pronouns they them, and I'm not disrespecting anybody who does that. I'm not disrespecting anybody who's non-binary. Whatever it is, what it is, and I just accept what people want to be. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Or identify as.
They have that right.
Exactly. So my problem with this is now he's apologizing, he's going to rehab, and every picture used throughout the media, which is given to them by PR people,
Right.
is him and like, I guess since he's become non-binary, it's not the same pictures as it is they were using, which was more of like him every day, more in,
Right. Well, they've got a
fighting with the masculine side.
they always wind up with, kinds of different wild outfits. Ezra's always had all sorts of different. I mean, he went to perks for being a wallflower in that dress, right out the gate, and made a huge stink, and everyone freaked out about it. And it's like, who gives a shit?
Yeah, no, I
People
don't care.
live your life however you want to. We don't stay alive long enough for it to mean shit. So live your life, live your truth, be happy. But don't kidnap a family along the way or whatever is going on. I mean, it's ridiculous the amount of charges or disgruntlement or problems that have come forth because of their drinking habits and their partying habits and their drugging and all of these other sorts of things. And I don't understand. Well, no, and it's fine. Look, this movie's probably still going to be released. I don't think The Flash is going to be stopped. It's probably still going to come out. I just don't give a shit to see it. I absolutely am refusing.
Oh yeah, and we've talked about it, but now I'm on a point where it's like it's like you're using these images when you didn't know what was going to happen. You're using these other images, that make him look like he's a problem and things like that. Like where he looks a little more menacing in these pictures. And now you're using these pictures where it's
bro, it's the same it's always been. This. They're always going to do that. They're trying to soften that bullshit because of the money behind it. Because that's too much money after canning Batwoman. You're now telling me they're going to have to can this other multi-hundreds of millions of dollar movie and potential investment? That's not going to happen. They're not going to do that. The executives are absolutely not going to do that.
It's such bullshit, and that's why I can't even get behind this stuff anymore.
I mean, I've had enough problems with Warner Brothers. I have enough with the executives at the tops. I have enough issues because I don't trust them. I don't think as humans they're probably all that great. I don't know them though, so I can't really speak to it. But fuck these Warner Brothers people and fuck people who support a-holes like Ezra Miller.
Yeah, that's legit. And Radar says the family is still missing.
Still.
And nothing's been brought up on it. I finally got caught up on him. He's so trash and needs to be locked up. Yeah.
Agreed. Yep.
And he's just going to walk away from it.
Well, yeah, because he'll go to rehab for a little bit and then come back and just shut the fuck up and quiet up, and everyone will ignore it. And then the money will continue flowing. And we'll see him in about 3 years in another fucking movie. And everyone will go, oh, we're so happy for them. We're so happy they've managed to get past whatever their demons were in the past,
do not.
Rather than the damage that they did to people and actually handling that. And I think Shia LaBeouf, I was happy to listen to his interview on Real Ones with John Bernthal, but I think, it's tough to support people, once again, who put hands on people. But when you're honest with yourself and when you're coming forward and you realize those changes that have to be made and where you were in a dark place and how you move forward and how you come out of that, sure.
I can forgive people.
Of course. And relationships are always very different too. So it's hard to judge based on how you treated someone in a past relationship because you're not in bed with them. You don't know what's going on, But
my thing has always been like, this isn't going to be a Robert Downey Jr. story. He's going to fuck up again, and somebody's going to get really hurt or dead because he's not taking. Like Robert Downey Jr. had to take it seriously. He went to jail. There was the wake up call. There was I have to clean myself up. Then I have to build myself up to get a career again that I'm completely blackballed from. Nobody wanted to touch him. It had to be Mel Gibson to get him back in.
Yeah.
And then it had to be Jon Favreau for him to even star in anything that was like billions of dollars, millions of dollars to make. Jon Favreau had to go to bat for him. And Jon Favreau at the height of like his popularity coming off Elf and things like that, and then going to do Iron Man. And he still had to argue with them and say, like, this is my guy. This is who I want to go with. We need to keep going with him. And really convince them and say, we have him reined in. Like, it took a lot. Like, people weren't ready to forgive yet. It took that movie's popularity and him after that not spiraling and still like continuing on the path of what he was trying to do. I don't, it's not going to happen at Ezra Miller. And like Shia LaBeouf, like, I'm glad he's remorseful for what he did. but I have to see down the line. I don't
Of
believe
course.
you now. Like, I want to
No.
know 10 years from now, if you're still on that path and you're still doing what you got to do, fine. But if you still fuck up, I can still even say, like, sometimes people just fuck up again, but you don't get another chance.
Well, forgiving and forgetting is a very difficult thing because I can forgive. Got a big heart. You can always forgive people. It's how many chances do you give people? How much are you willing to invest in them every time? Is it a diminishing return? Is it someone where you say, you know what, I believe in you 100% and absolutely think you can?
Mm-hmm.
Or is the smart money where you watch it play out? Wait to see.
I don't know. This is a situation where it's not, again, like, he didn't hit rock bottom.
Right.
And he just, like, has to change his life and go to, it's too much. Like, there's too many hands involved. Like, listen, we're going to lose a lot of money on you. And he finally realizes, all right, maybe he took his pills, whatever he had to do to kind of straighten himself out, to maybe pay attention.
Maybe didn't take his fucking pills, just get off some shit for a little while.
Maybe that too. Yeah. I mean, and fuck anybody who fucking says anything, because I take my pills. I do what I got to do. So I know what I'm talking about here. So, you know, whatever he had to do to kind of adjust himself and maybe wake up a little bit, but still, there's still an aftermath. You still fucked up. Like Robert Downey Jr. had to go to jail.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't get out of it. He didn't. Nobody was like, "Hey, you don't have to go. You're a star." Like, he had to go to jail.
He went. We saw the court footage. It's very famous.
You know, there was a wake up call. You know, and
it was, like, on Entertainment Tonight, wasn't it? Gosh, I feel like that it was everywhere, man. A hard, or what is it? A hard copy? A current affair.
Current affair. I remember that show. That was where Maury started.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I'm going to pirate, but I get it. I mean, maybe I will. I don't know. I have to figure out how.
We here at the Scene Snobs do not condone stealing of any kind or any piracy whatsoever.
Because we can't figure it out.
We're just not smart enough.
No, I get it. I'm right there with you. Anyone associated with the Flash, especially reshoots, while cops were looking for him, are enabling him. No money from me.
Yeah, that's some horseshit right there. That is a huge one, Radar. Excellent point. Police are actively looking for this guy while he is reshooting, and people are aware of where he is, and it's just, we're not really sure. Maybe we'll not bring this up. No reason to talk about this. It's like, yeah, man, fuck that. Sorry, I'm not cool with that. Not with. There's a lot of things I'm not cool with, and a lot of different actors and actresses and directors, and we've covered that before. I don't want to see people who hurt people succeed.
I'm right there with you. I agree, and it's sad fact that it happens, but you know what? It's fuck it. I don't care. Like, I don't need to see that movie. Like,
nope.
I might. I don't know. The jury's still out for me, but I'm leaning towards no.
Here's the thing. I'm going to watch everything WB puts out from here on through because I have to be able to rip it apart. And if you don't know your enemy, you're really just, you don't know what you're saying. You're talking out your ass. So
that's one thing that's one thing I'm adamant about here. And I know Casey is too. So, like, when I say this, like, you're not allowed to rip something apart until you see it. Like, we can talk about the things that are happening leading up to it. And that's what we're talking about. But we are not ripping apart a movie until we see it.
I don't know the amount of effort and work that was put on by the other members of this cast and crew, which I assume were quite numerous in a large production like this. I would hate to diminish their work over this one jackass who is just a miserable human being. So,
especially
I will withhold judgment, but at the same token, it doesn't mean I'm spending money on it.
Oh yeah. All right, it's 10:17 on a Sunday, people. Casey's got work tomorrow, and he's got a long trip ahead of him.
Yay, Atlanta!
Yes, he's heading to Atlanta, and we wish you well, sir. And we have talked about, I think he's still going to be here for Tuesday night.
Yes, I will be here awesome. Tuesday with bells on.
I love it. I love when you're here because then I'm not by myself.
It's my favorite time. My favorite time is our time, bro.
Exactly, man. I always enjoy this a little bit because we get to just have fun. Exactly. In fact, we were laughing and joking like the 10 minutes leading up to this show. And like Casey's just like, just turn it on, man.
Just go turn live, bro. Just do this thing. We're on a roll.
Safe travels, friend Chris. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris. Appreciate it, brother.
The only way I'd see it is Batgirl is a freebie. Come for the Flash, stay for Batgirl.
That would be
I'm with
cool.
you there.
That'd be
But guys,
cool.
if you're interested, I am doing a horror movie watch. Casey and I did a retrospective of the first 20, 95 through 75. My Halloween horror movie countdown will continue, but you can go check that out on YouTube now. It is available. If you guys are also interested, we want to thank our patrons who are amazing. You guys are all fantastic and wonderful. We have 3 tiers available if anybody's interested. All different perks, like you saw, like Chris won the monthly prize giveaway and such, which I am not allowed to put on any of the tiers on Patreon, but we still do. So
Exactly.
but I want to thank our patrons: Tim Forbes, Paul Dunn, Stacy Peters, Matt Branch, Aaron Sturdivant, Chris Sales,
And Dan Gowell, John Burhop, Ron Lippett, Jason Taylor, AJ Zyla, Dale Andrews, and Chris Harris.
And
Thank
to help
you,
my
patrons.
Thank you very much. And to help my OCD, somebody else joined, so Chris isn't right in the middle, and then we can just do 2 columns.
Oh, thank God.
And you do that at patreon.com/thescenesnobs.
Yeah, seriously, this middle name is throwing me off. I mean, it's great to see your name there, Chris, but we need balance.
We need balance. Yeah, we need to both say the same amount of names, or I'm going to go crazy. But if you guys are interested, join up on our Discord. The Snobs Nation Discord is open. You can go check it out. The links are below, of course, in the link tree, and we're just having a good time over there. Some great moderators. We do watch-alongs, the whole 9 yards. So just come over, have fun, enjoy the conversation. Also, please give this a like. We appreciate that. It goes a long way. We appreciate it when you do that. Also, subscribe to the channel. We have other great shows like the Scene Snobs Podcast, which is live every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. And, it's Casey and I just having a great time. We also have shows like this, Geek Fest Live, Scene Snobs Reviews, which have 2 new reviews of Me Time and Samaritan up right now. Plot Roast. We have a new episode of Plot Roast where we talked about the 1996 film Solo coming out soon. I've been sick, so I haven't been able to edit. Real Combat Season 2 is coming soon, and we have plenty of other shows and retrospectives and other videos that we do as well. So go subscribe.
We're super excited to be bringing those back to a little more normalcy here. Unfortunately, between my work and Mick's body just trying to do weird stuff, we've been all over the place. So we do promise to bring those back to a more regular status so you can keep up with us. So for that Plot Roast.
Absolutely. And if you guys want to watch our shows and wear our stuff, we have merch.
Who doesn't love merch?
Merch is always fun.
Yeah, exactly. And look, it's our stuff. We've got Embrace Absurdity. We've got all those mugs. You can see what the strongest ship in the fleet is.
It's friendship.
Yes, it is.
we have other designs too. And we have other designs coming. We just changed our website, actually, domain to snobsmerch.com, or you can just click the links below and where everything is.
Yeah, the magical link tree. Go to scenesnobs.com and you'll see all of these wonderful places that you can follow us. You can follow us on all of our socials: Facebook at the Scene Snobs, TikTok at the Scene Snob, Twitch at the Scene Snobs, YouTube at the Scene Snobs channel. What is that? What's that? Instagram at the Scene Snobs and Twitter at the Scene Snobs.
You know what it is? I've tried to change TikTok, but they won't let me.
Really?
Yeah, and I want it to be the Scene Snobs. I want everything across the board to be the Scene Snobs, but that's like the one that they won't let me. But we're both on TikTok anyway, so it works.
Well, that's because the TikTok one, you save off the last S for savings.
I love that. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us on Geek Fest Live. You guys are all amazing. We love you. We appreciate you. Just keep chugging along, enjoy it, and hopefully, and let us know what you think in the comments.
Absolutely. It's been a pleasure as always. We do appreciate it. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with us. Hopefully we made your Sunday evening, or whenever you happen to be listening to this, a little bit better. So thanks a lot. Remember, as always, to be kind to yourself and be kind to each other.
And stay tuned and stay geeky.